Unknown galaxy. Goku and Vegeta fell into Zaki and Bonzeroth's trap. It seems that now things have become more difficult for the two Saiyans because we once saw that those who prove to be the most powerful at a certain point end up being defeated. An unexpected presence appears in front of Goku and Vegeta. The heavenly war has begun. Goku and Vegeta already became targets before the strongest gods. Will this be the end of Universe 7's Goku and Vegeta? At that moment, directly in Universe 8, Lakir, the god of destruction from Universe 8, was lying on the ground. We heard a voice come up. Unknown voice says, "It seems that the gods of destruction in these universes are too weak. I really can't understand why these things are happening. Perhaps I should have chosen another universe. Although if you think about it, I chose it, but I ended up in the wrong universe. It's no use. I have the power that is capable of defeating any enemy. My strength really keeps getting bigger. I'm sure that now I will be able to show all my power. I am the most powerful angel." At that moment, Lakira falls to the ground and says, "How did he manage to do that?" Lakir has a little flashback in his head and says, "Looks like that fight was won. He started taking my blows and I had dodged all of his attacks. But in a small instant, he managed to eradicate me with an attack that felt like it had distorted reality. I should have guessed that this guy was an angel. But unlike all of Zeno-sama's protective angels, this guy fights like a barbarian warrior. It seems he likes to get into conflicts. I didn't even have the time to activate my ultra ego. That was a disgrace to me as a god of destruction. If by some miracle I make it out of here alive, you will pay for it. How did this happen?" At that moment, Kai, the angel of Universe 14, appears and says, "You should know that for all heroes, we start by getting beaten up in a fight and then we do a turnaround in battle. I am the hero of these people. That's why I need to end all evil. Once the great priest sealed my universe and all my friends, now we will end the real villain. You will be sealed here, and soon I will show you my true power. I will not eliminate your universe. I will make your universe have me as an angel. Surely all mortals here would like to have Zaki as the new god of destruction of your former universe. You will be our slave, Lakir. I think I'll go see how things are. You will be locked in here." Lakir is sealed away by Kai, the strongest angel in Universe 14. Kai goes to Universe 7. At that moment, Kai observes everything. Kai analyzes all the powerful presences in Universe 7 and sees that Zaki was there. Kai spots Zaki and says, "Does that mean you've already dealt with Goku and the other Saiyan? I could see the energy of two powerful Saiyans fighting against you for light years." Bonzeroth begins to watch and says, "They are in the kingdom of Shiva. Nothing came to our mind that could be different. The task was to capture them, and practically all of our techniques are brutal, and if we used it, we would make the existence of the two to be extinguished. It would totally go against the will of Shiva and Mother of Angels Zaki. So after using our dimensional sealing technique, we sent them to where the bloody angel is. Shiva will deal with them. We just did a sealing technique. Even because there are other Saiyans, extremely powerful, and from what we can understand, it's not just Son Goku who has great skills. Then, even when we evaluate this whole situation, we can make the best decision. Do you understand, Kai?" At that moment, Zaki starts laughing and says, "Looks like we're going to have to show true power. Looks like we're going to have to raise our energies more and more. It's very interesting to play with these Saiyans. In Universe 7, there are a few Saiyans, but all the presences of this race are extremely powerful. I believe this will get better and better. But we must not forget that we are in a heavenly war. Let's wait and see how this whole situation turns out." "Perfect. Come on, We have to analyze this whole situation. At that moment, a great energy arises directly in Universe 7. Great powers begin to be released. Gohan appears and says, "What's going on here? It seems that I no longer feel my father's energy as much as Mr. Vegeta's energy. Mr. Piccolo, let's find out what's going on." At that moment, Gohan and Piccolo begin to fight several destruction cats. Piccolo says,
"These beings of Beerus's race are very annoying. Come on, Gohan. We need to defeat them to see what's going on."
At that moment, Kai can feel another energy and says, "I feel an energy here in this universe that has a potential more powerful than even Son Goku and all other Saiyans." Zaki and Bonzeroth start to wonder. Kai starts to smile maniacally.
Yes, he exists. I knew. I feel like this warrior is hiding his power, but I can feel all this energy. Perfect. This will be fantastic. I already know who I'll go after. I need to meet him.
At that moment, Bonzeroth and Zaki were watching everything that was happening. Who is Kai talking about? Back to the unknown galaxy. Goku and Vegeta begin trying to directly attack the Angel of Universe 18. At that moment, Goku tries to hit the Angel's head directly and sticks his hand in the thorns that are coming out of Shiva's head. Shiva starts laughing and says,
Haha, let's see. Does that mean that you would really have the courage to attack me? That's pretty daring for a mortal to try to attack an angel. Didn't you know that I am a celestial being? You shouldn't be a guy who attacks stronger beings in your universe.
Goku says, "This is a war. We need to save our universe." Goku starts to think. The power of those two was very great. When I thought Vegeta and I were going to combine our powers, in the blink of an eye, the combined technique of the two appeared and ended up bringing us here. Still, I can't even know what universe this is or what reality we're in. Goku, back to his normal sanity, says, "Tell me, what place is this? What do you think you're doing with us here? We are not your puppets. Come out and come fight with us. Vegeta, we shouldn't have let our guard down." At that moment, Goku begins to increase his powers more and more. The Angel of Universe 18 says,
"Well, I already told you once. If you want to get out of here, it's very simple. The only thing you need to do is defeat me. Of course, if you believe you are capable. Son Goku, if you have any idea how many people want his head, I would think twice before leaving, because I think he's an indestructible superhero." This war doesn't really involve you mortals, but you decided to help the wrong side. From your partner universes, we managed to break out of the seal we were in after the High Priest's betrayal.
Goku and Vegeta start watching. At that moment, Vegeta says,
"Betrayal of the High Priest?"
Shiva starts laughing and says,
"Exactly. Don't you think it's weird? Extremely strong beings like us were sealed away after millennia of battles. The only explanation why this could happen would be betrayal. And it came from whom we least expected it. But one of ours was among all these universes. We can see several things that were happening. Now it will be more than interesting to show all our power and take back everything that is rightfully ours."
Goku starts watching and speaks. What is she talking about? Why does she say so much about the angel's betrayal? Does she mean that one of the angels who are beside the High Priest is a traitor? It makes no sense. At that moment, the angel Shiva starts laughing and says,
"Haha, exactly. Let it be known that the traitor is..."
The moment Shiva speaks the name of the traitor, Goku and Vegeta are brooding. Goku says, "It cannot be." The moment Goku started to get reflective, Shiva says,
"It doesn't matter. Know that you never managed to get out of here. Or better, at least you won't get out of here with life, Vegeta. Goku, you will finally be captured by me."
planet Earth. At that moment, Gohan had come face to face with Zaki after defeating all the destruction cats that were in that location. Gohan says, "I felt your energy far away from here. It seems that for some reason, my body asked me to defeat him. If I manage to defeat you here and now, surely the technique my father received will be undone and he will be able to return here, right?" At that instant, Piccolo appears in front of Bonzeroth. Bonzeroth speaks.
"I was looking for a Saiyan, but you don't look like a Saiyan. It doesn't matter. If you are a warrior, you will be killed here now."
A great bang appears on Earth. At that moment, the Angel of the Universe from Universe 14 appeared in front of Gon, the third son of Goku and Vados. Kai says, "I finally found you. It's no use hiding your power. I know you're very strong." Gon looks at Kai with a scared look. At that moment, Kai starts laughing and says, "I know you are powerful. Don't hide your energy. You're not just a Saiyan. You are a hybrid with an angel, so you have similar energy to mine. Fantastic." At that moment, Gon watches and speaks. "Damn, they found me." Gon is the third son of Goku, the son of Goku and Vados, the Angel of Universe 6. Goku in another timeline had his third son after Gohan and Goten were destroyed in his timeline. In this timeline, all Z warriors only went through catastrophes until the moment when all Z warriors were destroyed. Goku in another world began training with Lord Kai and increasingly surpassed his powers. In that reality and in the world of those who had lost their lives, Goku ended up becoming the savior of everything. Goku began to solve all situations, increasing his strength more and more and showing all his power. We knew that Goku was the savior of everything until the moment he had the involvement with the Angel of Universe 6, Vados. Vados, after meeting and seeing everything that Goku could show, ended up becoming interested in the Saiyan, seeing that even though the Saiyan had been killed, his soul still wanted to protect the realm of the dead. Vados revives Goku. A great relationship and a fruit of that romance emerged. Gon, the Angelic Saiyan. Gon, even as a child, had several battles and had a gigantic emerging power for being the combination of a Saiyan alongside the power of an angel. Gon saw his reality being attacked by the Dark Angels while Goku and Vados fought a celestial battle in their timelines. Times passed. Gon arrived in the Z Fighters timeline to help Goku. Gon held a training alongside Goku in the room of the gods of Universe 6, and soon after they fought together against Black Vegito. Sometime later, Gon trained again with Beerus in the room of the gods. Now Gon is on the side of Goku and all universes in the heavenly battle. Few in this timeline know that Gon is the son of Goku and Vados. At that exact moment, Gon is in front of Kai, the angel considered the hero of Universe 14. Kai is considered the strongest angel in terms of brute strength. At that moment, Kai had just defeated Lakir, the god of destruction of Universe 8. At that moment, Kai is face to face with the third son of Goku. Kai starts laughing and says, "Let's go. Gon is your name, isn't it? Show me what you're capable of, and I won't take it easy on you." At that moment, a great battle was being shown. Goku begins to observe everything in another galaxy. Goku says, "It seems that there is another presence even more powerful than all others directly in Universe 7. Are Gohan and everyone having problems?" At that moment, Goku remembers that Gon doesn't want to reveal all of his powers in front of Gohan and the other mortals. But what's going on? Who is this other presence? Shiva starts watching, laughing, and says, "Ha ha ha. Let's see. It looks like he decided to show his true energy. Looks like he's still just like before. Well, if we are going to evaluate the brute force aspect, it really can show something catastrophic. You don't get along, Kai. You don't even let the enemy have time to breathe." I feel that Universe 8 is not the same as before. The god of destruction there has been defeated.
Since you can attack the God of Destruction of Universe 8 and not directly attack your own angel brother, this way he will find a way to save your God of Destruction. Looks like your rules are totally different, but come on, let's see. If you are in Universe 7, it is because something caught your attention.
At that moment, Goku says, "You're after Gon, aren't you? I know that." At that moment, the angel Shiva starts laughing and says,
Ha ha ha, it was him. I've always suspected this kid. Maybe you're not Son Goku's real target. Now that we know of Gon's existence, maybe he's the one we should capture.
At that moment, Vegeta questions himself.
Who are you talking about, Kakarot? Is that the boy who came with you?
At that moment, Shiva says,
Exactly. Didn't Goku tell you? This boy is the third son of Son Goku. Son Goku had a son with Vados, the angel of Universe 6. In another timeline where we had eliminated all mortals in the world of the dead, Son Goku trained with Mr. Kai, and after Champa appeared to blame Goku for Beerus's death, the angel Vados went along and ended up falling in love with him. What a cliché. From this relationship in this timeline, a fruit was born, the Saiyan with angelic power, Gon, the heavenly Saiyan. Perhaps he is the greatest hybrid warrior with potential that ever lived.
Vegeta is surprised and says,
What? What are you talking about?
Goku replies, "Damn, this shouldn't have happened." Planet Earth. At that moment, large explosions begin to happen on the ground and we can hear several noises of Gon receiving several blows and at the same time dodging Kai's attacks. Kai says,
"Come on, show your strength soon, boy. I know you can do so much more than that. It seems that I know the energy of each one. I know what each one is capable of. Come on, show us what you can develop."
At that moment, we can see that the energy that has been raised directly from Gon each time manages to get bigger. Gon speaks. "This guy certainly has powers very similar to those of Cypher, the Angel of Destruction, but it seems that Cypher possessed abilities that would destroy anything through magic. Now this guy has astronomical brute strength, but at the same time, I don't see him using magical powers. Does he not have any kind of energy related to this destruction magic?" At that moment, Kai starts laughing and says,
"Ha ha ha ha. I confess that in all my angelic training, I never wanted to test powers like magic. I always thought that by force everything would be solved. In all my training, I saw my brothers with their staffs learning to control magic. I realized that I was different. I just wanted to know how to fight and show my real strength. Over time in battles I had with my brothers, I realized that my physical strength was much greater than all of them. My superiority was clear. All the magic attacks I received had no effect on my body due to my superhuman strength. I realized that I had been chosen to be considered the strongest angel. Great powers ask for great responsibilities, and that's what made me the hero of my universe and loved by all my people. That was so perfect. Until the day that because of a fight between my brothers and my father, the great priest, the universes who stood beside my mother, the mother of all angels, were erased. Everything went so fast that I didn't have time to show my real strength. That was really sad. But don't say that. Now I am here, and this time we've come to show what we're capable of. This time I myself will settle the score with my father." "That's right. You were talking about my magic."
Gon starts to wonder and says, "This guy's a lot messier than I thought." Kai responds,
"Magic for me was something that never made so much sense. But now I can see that it will be more than interesting to fight by showing my power to you, boy. In the end, we are equal, chosen by the Celestials to be the most powerful of our races. Come on, show what you're really capable of."
At that moment, Gon observes and starts laughing. "So that means it's just the two of us here in this location, right?" You are an angel, and I also possess angelic energy. But you only possess brute force, so if our battle collapse starts to happen, no one will suspect which is my energy and which is your energy. This is perfect. I'm so happy. I've waited so long for this moment. Haha, Dad. Now I can show everything I learned from you and Mr. Beerus right in the training in the room of the gods. I'm very happy now. I'm Gon, the Celestial Saiyan, son of Goku and Vados. So that's just what I need. Now I can fight seriously with you. Kai makes a surprised face and says,
I mean, this boy is very smart. He just didn't want others to know his real power. As we both have a heavenly energy, everyone will think he's fighting an angel and won't know how to differentiate my energy and his energy. Ha 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 ha. Fantastic, boy. Let's start our fight.
Gon versus Kai. What is Gon's plan? What's happening? Finally, the third son of Goku will show his true power. Gohan versus the Saiyan hybrid is here. Zaki finally shows his true strength. Gohan's true power is finally revealed. Gohan starts fighting Zaki. Zaki says,
It seems that his energy is totally different from Goku and Vegeta's energy. In the same way that Vegeta uses Ultra Ego, showing the wrath of his power, and Goku shows the calmness of his ki with Ultra Instinct. You fight like you combine the power of both, yet there's something more. There seems to be a purity and anger in your fists. You're an interesting boy. Son Gohan is your name, isn't it? You have the respect of Zaki, the god of destruction of Universe 14. It will be an honor to eliminate you.
Gohan starts to smile and says, I can't say which power is higher, if it's mine or if it's my father's, but it still doesn't matter because I have a mission, and that mission is to protect the Earth, and you are a threat. I will finish you off, and I will protect Earth and truly show my true power. At that moment, we can see that several destruction cats were being eliminated. A voice comes up and says,
It looks like I really managed to show all my power here. These cats of destruction are really a pain in the ass. I would have to finish each one and show what the true meaning of energy is. Let's go there now. It is time for truth and heavenly power to be revealed.
At that instant, we can see a large opening and a crack in a time rift on planet Earth. A great warrior ends up coming out of the time rift. Who is this warrior? Back to the battle of Gohan. Gohan, after hitting Zaki's face, realizes that Zaki is very calm. Zaki starts laughing and says,
This is fascinating. This is incredible. It means that you are the Saiyan hybrid of the prophecy. It reminds me of the same way that I was chosen as a Saiyan of my universe.
At that moment, Gohan observes Zaki and speaks. What? Are you a Saiyan too? Gohan is surprised to discover that Zaki was also a Saiyan. Gohan notices that Zaki's skin color and hair are totally different from all Saiyans he knows. At that instant, Gohan speaks. But after the darker skin, those dark eyes, that hair color, he has Saiyan traits, but he's still quite different. I can't understand. Your ki is that of a Saiyan, but your appearance is totally different. I'm a hybrid Saiyan of two races. Is there a possibility of him being… No, it's not possible that could happen. At that moment, Zaki starts to laugh and says,
Haha, let's see. You will be eliminated by me, son Gohan. You question yourself too much. This is just a fight in a war where the strongest will emerge victorious. Can you understand that? You are talking to the warrior who will erase your existence from the whole universe. But I must deduce that the mix of races you know among suspected Saiyans must make sense. That Saiyan race next to a human. In this way, you have become a hybrid. As for me, I remember it like it was yesterday. The reflections that my father used to say.
At that moment, we have a small flashback of Zaki. We see a being with long black hair, a Saiyan with very high energy. Everyone feared him. They knew that he could increasingly show high skills. The birth of a prodigy was shown. That Saiyan who manages to raise his powers more and more. At that moment, we can see that the Saiyan that had been shown was Zaki's father. In a few moments, the Saiyans conquered several planets and showed different skills. All the energy that had been shown and all the power that had been raised is shown. Everyone knew that another being from this planet was appearing. A combination of powers that was closely linked to a goddess of destruction that possessed the energy of destruction combined with the power of Makaioshin demons had just emerged. She was considered the goddess of death. At the time, Isaac's father, being a Saiyan, became involved with the goddess of death. A fruit has appeared, the birth of Zaki. That Saiyan who possessed Makaioshin demonic power combined with the power of a Saiyan comes about. For a moment considered the most powerful hybrid in his universe. Zaki, after getting old, was considered as the Saiyan son of a demon and was looked down upon by all of his race. Until the day Zaki unleashed his powers and wiped out most of his race. Several collapses that happened between his planets, he began to want to do things his way, destroying everything. By the time Zaki flees his universe because he can't take the Saiyans and Makaioshins anymore, Zaki wanders to Universe 14 and finds Kai, who was considered the hero of everything. Kai says,
"Hey boy, if you keep wrecking things here, you'll be disposed of by me. I am the hero of all universes, the Angel Kai."
At that moment, Zaki starts to laugh and says,
Haha, that means he won't attack me directly. Did I understand correctly? Does he not care about my appearance? Is he giving me the power of choice? Who is this guy? Haha, very good. So let's go. If you manage to defeat me, I will stop destroying everything. Otherwise, I will destroy you and everyone and take this universe for myself.
Kai starts to laugh and says,
I think it would be interesting if you were defeated by me to follow me. You're not really a bad guy. I can feel it deep in your heart. After all, I am a hero. You would definitely learn a lot more things on your journey, and I, as a hero, have an obligation to protect everyone, and even you who are the evildoers.
At that instant, Kai and Zaki begin to have a battle. The battle that lasted 100 days. All universes began to shudder. Several planets for several days suffered earthquakes and people could not leave their homes, all due to the blows that collided between Zaki and Kai. Even Zaki being a Saiyan hybrid and Kai being an angel, the two managed to fight on equal terms. Kai was more and more impressed and happy with Zaki's performance in the fight. Kai was weakening. Zaki also didn't have much energy until the moment the two give the last punch. At that moment, Kai goes to the ground. In a few moments, Zaki's body is thrown away. Kai stands up and says,
"This fight was fantastic."
Zaki remains on the floor, laughing and says,
"That was fantastic. Now you could eliminate me."
At that moment, Kai observes and speaks.
"I think you got it wrong. Maybe you can still be a hero. You have to understand the meaning of a hero. I could never eliminate you. After all, heroes save lives and don't end them. He could have only misunderstood things. Come on, follow me. You are very strong. From now on, we will be the heroes of this universe, and we will fight to protect this universe at all costs."
Back to current times, Gohan watches and speaks.
"It means then that you were always beside the angel of Universe 14. Are you that strong? Interesting. An angel fought you for 100 days. You managed to fight an angel for all that time and still came out alive."
Zaki starts laughing and says,
"I fought Kai during that period, but I'm sure now I would be able to defeat him. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's settle this soon. You already know too much about me, son Gohan."
At that moment, Gohan sees Piccolo being thrown away by Bonzeroth. Bonzeroth appears in front of Zaki and says, "I see you're in need of help, Zaki. Looks like you're too weak, having trouble defeating this guy." "Zaki, I see you talk too much. Let's finish this Saiyan soon." At that instant, a huge explosion happens in Universe 7. Broly had already activated his Berserk form and says, "I'm tired of these destruction cats. Let's go save Goku soon. Gohan needs help. Tell me, who do I have to defeat?" Bonzeroth starts laughing and says, "Let's see. Looks like we have another unexpected visitor here." Broly finally appears on the battlefield. Finally, the strongest Saiyan appears and prepares for his first battle. Broly had defeated several Doom Cats. The power of the Saiyan who is considered the strongest Saiyan is finally shown. Bonzeroth is surprised and says, "Who is this guy? Does that mean then that he is one of those Saiyans who had great power to show? Alright, I think I've heard of a Saiyan like that a long time ago. Does that mean that you have a latent power even greater than Goku's? It will be very interesting to crush you now. This way it will be clear that I am the strongest Saiyan. Goku will spend some time cooling off with Shiva. That is, if he makes it back from the place I sent him. If he comes back, I'll finish him off as soon as I defeat you." At that moment, Broly directly activates his Super Saiyan transformation. Broly watches and speaks. "It means that you are this guy who is causing problems here for the warriors of this planet. I've been watching your movements, and I confess that your strength for me is nothing. You look like a harmless dog that won't stop barking, and when you get close to it, it starts to get scared. Let's start." At that moment, Piccolo was lying on the floor. Piccolo says, "Looks like this guy is really strong. I really didn't even have time to show my full power, and this guy managed to defeat me before that. Is this a power of a true Saiyan god? By that outfit, he sure is a god of destruction. I can't imagine what the power level will be. Gohan is fighting this guy. This shape, this hair color, and this skin are totally different. It looks like he's hiding something. I wonder what's going on. Alright, let's go, Gohan. I trust you in this battle. I need to recover." At that moment, Zaki observes and says, "What's going on here? Who is this guy? Did he just show up without us being able to detect his presence?" Gohan starts laughing and says, "If I were you, or if I were Bonzeroth, I would be scared because he's about to face Broly. He who has already caused great meltdowns in every battle, and his fury is acclaimed even by the god of destruction of our universe. Broly is the strongest Saiyan." Bonzeroth prepares to move forward and attack Broly. Broly in a few moments remembers his training alongside the Great Priest and Goku. At that moment, Broly starts to smile and says, "It seems that thanks to this training, I can now see. I can feel the enemy's next steps for light years. Thank you very much, Goku. Thank you, Great Priest. Now I possess the true mastery of the Force." That moment, Bonzeroth will attack with a punch approach to the face. Broly, in a few moments, uses the mastery of the Berserker instinct, dodging all the blows that Bonzeroth tried to hit. Bonzeroth says, "What is that? Impossible. How is he managing to read my movements? This sequence of blows, not even Zaki could get rid of it. What's going on here?" Gohan and Piccolo watch and say, "What? How is this possible? Did Broly make it this far into the training base? He has this ability. When did you learn that, Broly?" Broly starts laughing and says, "While I trained with Goku and Daishinkan, I could observe the mastery of Ultra Instinct that Goku was able to follow the movement of angels. But in order to be able to perform this skill, the user's ki must always have a constant calmness, and I knew that my ki would never. It would be something that was part of me. That's why the Great Priest explained to me that I would discover my instinct myself, until the moment I woke up the Berserker instinct. Now I have all the power I need. Let's get started." Grand Priest's Palace. The great priestess Zaki continues face to face with Daishinkan, and the two are staring at each other insanely. The two are watching the celestial war that was taking place. Zaki says,
"Looks like Goku and Vegeta are practically out of the game, isn't it, Daishinkan?" "Now see what your Saiyans are managing to do." "Absolutely nothing." Already in Universe 11, it seems that things are even more complicated.
At that moment, directly in Universe 11, Margarita was thrown into the rubble of the planet. Toppo was lying on the floor. Belmont had his King and Joker cards torn up. At that moment, Jiren was almost exhausted. Jiren says,
"How could this happen? What race is this guy? I cannot understand. He looked like he was at a disadvantage, but he was and managed to nullify Belmont's power. From the information I had, this would only be possible if he was hiding the game and can nullify any type of divine ability. He said that he could only destroy the energy of angels, but now for all that was shown, he managed to cancel even the powers of Belmont, the god of destruction. The energy of destruction doesn't work against this guy either. Toppo ended up losing his power. It looks like the burden of this fight will fall on me."
Belmont, lying on the ground, watches and says,
"Jiren, it seems that we did not know this information. Belmont's powers were lost. I lost my powers because he hid it all this time, that any celestial energy he can nullify. I wonder what's behind it. But you are special, Jiren. Your power is different. Now we know that it is not angelic power and not any kind of destruction power either. Perhaps you are the only one in this universe who can win."
At that moment, Ziel starts to laugh and says, "You've got to be kidding me. Do you think you will really be able to do something here? It's no use. My powers are much higher. My power of destruction is the strongest power there is. You will never be able to do anything." At that instant, a great explosion and collapse takes place among all the universes. Goku directly into the unknown galaxy alongside Vegeta fighting the bloody angel Shiva begin to observe. Gohan, Broly and Piccolo notice a huge explosion light years away from where they are. At that moment, Gon, who was fighting Kai, also noticed. The universe was practically being erased. At that moment, we can observe a big laugh. "Ha ha ha ha! I said these gods are extremely weak. None of them can do anything. I didn't want to fight the angel of this universe. After all, it would be too boring, wouldn't it, Zyros?" At that moment, Zyros, the angel of Universe 13, starts to laugh and says,
"Looks like you've already wanted to test your powers here, isn't it, Zyko?"
At that moment, Zyko, the Supreme Saiyan God of Universe 17, is watching everything that happens and says, "I said I was going to finish them off one by one, so soon the great battle will begin. No one will be able to defeat me. My power is the greatest. Stay tuned to everything that will happen, Zyros." At that instant, directly in Universe 11, Jiren starts watching and says,
"It looks like Universe 1 is about to be totally eradicated. How is this possible in such a short time? Who is this being that is showing this power?"
At that instant, Ziel notices something and says,
"Ha ha ha! This is certainly the work of Zyko the Supreme Saiyan. Very interesting. So that means that now all that's left is for me to finish all of you here. Mortal, give up soon. This will be the end of you."
At that moment, Jiren starts to laugh and says,
"I've always fought extremely powerful villains, and I was chosen as the savior of this universe was no accident. I always tried to overcome my limits each time, and a certain warrior after all this time taught me that there are no limits to our strength."
The image of Goku comes into Jiren's head. Jiren says,
"I held on to that power for a long time. Now you will meet him."
At that moment, Belmont watches and speaks.
"Ha ha! You mean he's going to use that power?"
What is Jiren hiding? Back to planet Earth. At that moment, Broly, activating the mastery of the Berserker instinct, combining with his Berserker form, lands several blows on Bonzeroth. Bonzeroth starts to get more tired and worn out in battle. At that moment, Zaki fights against Gohan with great ease and starts to laugh and says, "Looks like you're having a hard time fighting this Saiyan. You discredit things too much, don't you, Bonzeroth?" Bonzeroth responds, "Be quiet, Zaki. I'm just warming up." At that moment, Piccolo sees that Gohan was having a hard time in the battle. Piccolo hears a voice inside him saying, "Show your true Namekian power. Show your true skill. Come on." Piccolo wonders,
Who are you? What's happening?
At that moment, Kami-sama's image pops into Piccolo's head. Soon after, a vision of another being appears. This being says,
I am the creator of everything, the creator of the super spheres and the Namekian race. Receive some of my power. You, the one who for a long time was the Kami-sama of the land.
Piccolo embodied the spirit of the legendary Namekian god. What's going on with Piccolo? What is being shown in the face of all this? The spirit of the strongest being is embodied in Piccolo. What happens and why is Piccolo being shown this way? At that moment, Piccolo saw that Gohan was not able to hold his own in his fight against Zaki. At that instant, Piccolo interferes with the battle. Piccolo says,
Gohan, I'll cover for you. Come with me. Follow in my footsteps from the same fight we had against Cell Max, and we'll beat this guy. Strength will never count if you don't have a strategy in battle. Let's defeat this guy together, just like we did with Cell.
Piccolo kept hearing voices in his head and trying to understand. Piccolo thinks,
What's going on here with me? This doesn't make any sense. Stop talking nonsense. I don't need any power. All my power was released when I asked Shenron to release my latent power, so this cannot possibly happen. Wait, could it be that when I made the wish to Shenron, it was only bits of my latent power that were released? Come on, Gohan, let's finish this guy off.
Zaki starts laughing and says, "Does that mean you think it's going to be that easy? Do you think you can defeat me? You make me laugh. A Saiyan and a Namekian. Come on, show me what you're capable of." At that moment, Gohan begins to raise his power alongside Piccolo. The two try to attack Zaki directly. Zaki, with great mastery, begins to dodge all the blows that were being shown. Zaki's Ultra Instinct appeared to be superior even to Goku's. At that moment, Zaki attacks and hits Gohan's belly and continues advancing until he lands a punch in Piccolo's face. Gohan and Piccolo fall to the ground. Gohan says, "This guy seems to be pushing me to the limit. His powers don't even compare to any enemy we've fought. Maybe I have to use the last resort." Gohan begins to remember the training he had with the Great Priest. Flashback of Gohan training alongside Vegeta against the Grand Priest. The High Priest says, "You two are amazing warriors, Sir Gohan and Sir Vegeta. But your energies, unlike Son Goku's, need a lot of fury to get stronger. Maybe it would be interesting for you to combine your powers alongside the calm of your hearts. Your latent power is incredible, Gohan. You should work on that side more." Gohan and Vegeta are training for days in Zeno-sama's palace until the moment a great explosion of energy happens. The High Priest says, "As expected, you really made it." Gohan responds, "Daishinkan, it seems I managed to raise my powers much higher. After this training, I'm sure Vegeta also managed to get much stronger. But still, it looks like something is off. Every time I raise my energy to that stage, my power ends up being completely depleted. After using this attack, it seems that I lose all my energy." At that instant, the High Priest says, "This blow is a two-edged sword. After you use it, you won't be able to fight for about 1 hour. So, if you don't defeat the enemy with this blow, you will definitely be killed in the fight." Gohan begins to reflect. Gohan's powers were being raised more and more. But Gohan says, "Does this mean that this will be my last card? I need to get stronger and stronger so I don't have to use this skill.
If I fail to defeat the enemy with this blow, it will be the end of me. Okay, a bit risky. A new type of transformation and my Beast 2 form might make a difference, but I still can't control it 100%. I'm going to need to put together the real strategy for this fight. At that moment, Gohan raises his energy more and more, and Piccolo starts to be fascinated.
Amazing, Gohan. You are showing your true energy.
The moment Piccolo lets his guard down in battle, Zaki attacks him and pierces his belly. Piccolo falls to the ground. Gohan doesn't understand what happened to Piccolo. At that moment, a voice over Piccolo comes up again and says, "Come on, accept my power. My power is your power. Let's show what we're really capable of." At that moment, Piccolo, with his body completely knocked down, says,
"If I accept his power, will we be able to take this guy down?"
At that moment, a great laugh arises. Gohan is in a state of shock watching Piccolo, and he sees that Piccolo's body was changing color to a bluish color and lightning was appearing over his body. The power of the legendary Namekian god surged over Piccolo's body. At that moment, Bonzeroth, who was fighting Broly, starts to wonder when he sees the difference that had happened with Piccolo and says,
"I didn't know that beings of the Namek race could get so powerful."
Piccolo, with his increasing power, begins to laugh and says,
"Ha ha ha! This power is amazing. Does that mean then, what is it?"
Piccolo begins to remember all the fights he has ever had, and in his mind begins to remember when he fought Goku. Piccolo says,
"It's Goku. When we fought when we were young, our powers were very similar. I was even consumed by evil wanting to dominate the earth. But time passed, you managed to become much more powerful, and even I increased my powers. I was behind you and all the other Saiyans. It seems like yesterday all this happened. I couldn't do anything against Majin Buu, and even less when the destroyer Beerus appeared on Earth. I knew this needed to change. After all, I am a warrior. I started to realize after the fight against Cell Max that maybe the power I showed wasn't all my strength. It makes me very happy to know that I can increasingly overcome my limits. There are no limits to determination. Now I know that with this power that I have, no one else can stop me."
Piccolo starts laughing insanely. Zaki watches and says, "What is this guy laughing at? Because his eyes and skin have changed? I'm starting to consider these Universe 7 mortals a real problem. They seem to be defeated and soon after they raise their powers to levels that maybe even they wouldn't believe. But it does not matter. Receive my ultimate attack, Dark Aura of the Makaioshin realm." In a few moments, Piccolo appears in front of Zaki and kicks him, causing Zaki to be thrown into the rubble of the earth. Fascinated Gohan says, "Mr. Piccolo managed to regenerate, and now with his new form, he is winning the battle. Mr. Piccolo, you are amazing."
Piccolo, smiling, says, "Haha, let's start, God of Destruction of Universe 14.
Piccolo, the Namekian god who managed to receive the power of the being who claimed to be the legendary Namekian god. What was really happening to Piccolo? Piccolo starts landing several blows on Zaki. Piccolo starts to show a great energy that was being raised over his body. Big blows begin to fall. At that moment, Zaki starts talking. "What happened to this guy? This is a bit strange. He managed to get much stronger, and in a short period of time. In fact, he looked like he was dead just a few minutes ago. It even seems like he's not even the same person he's fighting. How does this guy manage to do this? It's getting interesting." At that moment, Gohan starts watching and says, "Mr. Piccolo is amazing. He's getting to fight this guy, maybe even more than everyone else. Did Master Piccolo have all this power and had he hidden it all this time?" At that moment, Piccolo begins to reflect and remembers the last training he performed in the Room of Time. Reflecting on the powers that were shown, Piccolo has a small flashback in his mind of his planet Namek. Piccolo could see that among the Namekians there were many formidable warriors who used to display their powers in a very high way. Piccolo watches and says,
the legend of the legendary Namekian warrior. No one would ever be able to defeat this warrior. He would have the necessary power to end any enemy that appeared there. It was said in the past that after a being of the Namekian race reached the maximum limit of his strength, he would be able to break the barriers of overcoming, becoming the new Namekian god. But Piccolo that this power was fleeting. He wouldn't be able to use this skill in a battle for more than 3 minutes. It was said that the true legendary warrior would only need that much time to defeat the enemy.
Back to present times. Piccolo starts to land several blows, putting pressure on Zaki. Bonzeroth observes and speaks.
What's happening? Soon you suffering for a warrior like that?
Zaki observes and speaks. I don't understand. This guy was practically knocked down. How did he manage to show so much strength? At that moment, Zaki starts laughing and says, Haha, that's why he's fighting. He is wanting to end this battle very quickly. It looks like he should have some time for his powers to return to normal in this fight. At that moment, Gohan steps forward to attack Zaki along with Piccolo, but Piccolo says,
Gohan, stay out of this. See how a real warrior should fight and behave in a battle against the enemy.
Gohan finds his master's words strange. In a few moments, Piccolo teleports and hits Zaki's belly. Zaki is lying on the ground. Piccolo says,
With that power, I became a practically invincible being. You will never be able to do anything against me.
Just as Piccolo was about to thank Zaki for the final blow, his powers ran out. Piccolo says,
What? Impossible. The 3 minutes haven't passed. What happened to my god energy?
Zaki starts laughing and says, Just in time. As I imagined, you don't have 100% control of this power. At that moment, Zaki changes the shape of his face and creates an ultimate attack. Zaki says, Haha, Fist of Destruction. Zaki hits Piccolo in the belly. Piccolo lands on the ground with his belly pierced in front of Gohan again. Piccolo looks at Gohan and says,
I'm sorry, Gohan. I failed you.
Piccolo is dead. Gohan speaks. Do not. It's not possible. It cannot be. You as well? Master Piccolo, stand up please. Use your Namekian regeneration skill. Come on, Mr. Piccolo. Please. At that moment, Gohan noticed that Piccolo didn't hear his voice anymore. Zaki, smiling, says, Calm down, son Gohan. Soon I will send you to the same place I sent your master. Gohan gets mad. Gohan was no longer the same. The whole earth starts to shake. Zaki and Bonzeroth are watching. Daishinkan Palace. Zakai watches and speaks. It looks like one of his mighty warriors has already been eliminated. Now it's just a matter of time before they're all killed. Daishinkan responds, Oh, that you are wrong, Zakai. The Namek warrior's death will lead to a big bang. This explosion of feeling of sadness and fury will make the Saiyan hybrid awaken his fury. Zakai, with an impressed face, says, What? Impossible. On the other side of Earth, while Gon was fighting Kai, Kai is amazed and says, What kind of energy is this? Back to Gohan and Zaki's location. Gohan says, Now I will have no pity for you, Zaki.
The warrior of prophecy. The warrior who once surpassed all and saved the land. The warrior who had reached the limits of Saiyan level after showing his fury. That kind of Saiyan hybrid who, after increasing his powers more and more, managed to develop his skills even more and even at a young age. He had the responsibility of deciding the future of the earth in his hands. Overcoming everyone and becoming the last hope of the earth in the absence of his father. He stayed for years fighting different enemies, always protecting his loved ones. As a child, he spent very little time with his father and was raised by a being of another race. A Namekian who was formerly a member of the family of evil and over time changed his personality, becoming another friendly being. That boy who never wanted to fight but was always involved in wars.
He always had to raise his power more and more and show his abilities and what he would be able to do in the midst of so many battles. Son Gohan is Son Goku's son, trained throughout his childhood by Piccolo, the one who was once the family of evil. Piccolo Daimoa, who has shown all his wrath in the past. Piccolo's son Daimoa had become the legendary Namekian. His Namekian god power was limitless. However, due to not being able to master the 100% powers of the Namekian god, Piccolo ended up losing his powers in the middle of the battle against Zaki and had his body pierced by the Saiyan hybrid god of destruction of Universe 14. Piccolo was lying on the ground in front of Gohan. Gohan once again sees his mother's death in front of him. Gohan becomes enraged and begins to unleash his fury like he never has before. Gohan says, "It can't be. I couldn't have let that happen. I was so happy seeing Mr. Piccolo's new powers that I didn't end up realizing that his energy was wearing out very fast, and because of that he's..." Zaki starts laughing and says, "That will be the end of you, boy. You will go to the same place where this Namekian is going." At that moment, Zaki steps forward and tries to land a punch directly in Gohan's face. At that moment, a huge explosion happens. Gohan takes the punch from Zaki and doesn't feel a thing. Gohan in a few moments hits a punch in the face of Zaki and says, "I will never forgive you. You will pay for everything you did to Mr. Piccolo." The Grand Priest's palace. At that moment, the High Priest observes and says,
It seems that you eliminated one of Son Goku's friendly warriors, and with that resulted in Son Gohan's fury. Are you proud of it, Zaki?
Zaki starts to laugh and says,
I don't care. Keep in mind that Zaki and Bonzeroth powers are extremely limitless. You're talking about the two gods of destruction that caused the great catastrophe in the last celestial war. You think they'll be afraid of a random mortal just because he's mad Daishinkan?
The High Priest with a serious face says,
I already told you once. You disbelieve too much of the powers that the Universe 7 warriors have. Universe 7 and the universes protected by Zeno-sama have formidable warriors. Maybe you haven't understood yet what is the essence and power of trusting those who can show the best performance and fight every day against evil in order to protect their loved ones.
At that moment, Zaki makes a serious face and says,
What are you talking about, Daishinkan?
At that moment, we can see directly into Universe 11. Jiren attains a new power. Jiren had his face completely different. Jiren has a flashback to the past. Jiren remembers when he was a child and had his race eliminated by a villain. At that moment, Jiren says, I will never go through a situation like this again. I will get stronger at all costs. In this world, the weak have no place. At least that's how I thought for most of my life. But now, I think differently. If the weak exist, it's because they need protection from the strong, and I will be here to protect everyone this time. In the past, I couldn't show much. In the past, I was defeated, and I couldn't protect them or show all my race. This is a burden I may have to carry forever. I really know what things are going to happen and how everything is going to work out. I always knew everything that happened in the past, but today I know that I can get more and more powerful, that each time my energy will increase. So I would never give up fighting any enemy. I would never give up on any other being. Now if I fall down here in front of all my friends, who can save them all? Who will be able to resolve this whole situation? I don't have much to say. I just can't be beaten by you, ZL. At that moment, Jiren advances towards ZL, and at that moment, ZL tries to nullify Jiren's powers. ZL ends up getting punched in his face. At that moment, Jiren starts to speak. Just as I imagined, the power of the essence of my race you will never be able to nullify. Your ability only nullifies powers of gods and celestial beings. My race is unknown to many, so you don't have information about my race to be able to channel your energy and prevent my blows. It seems that now the game has started to turn in our favor. I'm sorry to tell you, but your end is near, ZL. ZL watches and speaks.
But what race is this guy? What's happening? This doesn't make any sense. I should be able to nullify the abilities of practically every race. I learned this technique from the first god of the cold demon race. No one should be able to stop my ability. Even the mother of angels, Zaki, is afraid of my power. How is it possible that this is happening? At that moment, Jiren starts to land several blows on ZL. At that moment, ZL says, "It's not possible. This guy is managing to land these blows on me and he has the biggest advantage in the battle. If this fight continues like this, I will end. No, that cannot happen. Does your race have any involvement with the cold demons?" Jiren starts laughing and creates a large sphere of energy in his hand and says, "ZL, now this will be the end of you." Back to Universe 7. Broly had been fighting Bonzeroth, having the upper hand in the battle. Bonzeroth had been receiving several blows and says, "It seems that you are totally different from other Saiyans. I thought by sending Goku and Vegeta out of this dimension that there wouldn't be other Saiyans as powerful as them. But apparently I'm mistaken. Haha, I, Bonzeroth, I hail you the strongest, Broly. Now the time has come for me to start fighting in earnest." At that instant, Broly looks and speaks. "What? Wasn't this guy using all of his strength? You damn you, don't you dare play with me." An enraged Broly advances towards Bonzeroth amidst the light emanating from the Saiyan God. In a few moments, Gohan, after having raised his power, comes down a punch on Zaki. Gohan says, "You will never understand the meaning of friendship and always wanting to protect your loved ones. You will never understand that." Zaki starts watching and says, "How dare you insult me, Lesser Saiyan? You're mad just because your green father is dead. This is all his own fault, that he was careless in battle. He discovered a new path, and without thinking about the consequences, he ended up spending all his energy. Even worse was you didn't realize that he was at his limit and didn't do anything to protect him. Receive this attack. Aura of Destruction." A great dark energy is released on Gohan that disappears amidst the darkness. Zaki starts laughing. "I said you wouldn't be able to do anything about this. I'm Zaki, the god of destruction from Universe 14. No one is capable of defeating me and Kai. You were a fool to think that a mortal as weak as you could do something. His powers were only a little greater than Son Goku's powers, but in reality, you are just outdated Saiyans who haven't developed their powers to the extreme." At that moment, a great light appears. Gohan's voice again emerges. Zaki says, "It can't be, as you're still alive." Gohan says, "I think you did not understand. I said I won't forgive you and you'll pay for everything you've done." Zaki responds, "You wretch, don't you dare brag about the power you've conquered. Take it." Zaki tries to hit Gohan's face, but at that moment, he is stopped and Gohan easily catches his hand. Zaki says, "Impossible, like you." At that moment, Gohan angrily lands a furious Saiyan punch on Zaki's face. Gohan says, "That's for me and Mr. Piccolo." Zaki is hurled into the rubble of the earth. At that moment, Gohan appears beside Broly and speaks. "You need help, Broly. This guy won't be showing up here anytime soon." Bonzeroth observes and says, "Damn you, what did you do with Zaki?" While the Z fighters had their tough battles on Earth, Goku and Vegeta were still in the trap that had been set by Bonzeroth and Zaki. At that moment, Goku alongside Vegeta were having an arduous battle against Shiva, the bloody angel. Goku and Vegeta were cornered. At that instant, Goku says, "Looks like we're kind of running out of alternatives, Vegeta. Maybe it won't do much good to save energy if we don't make it out alive in a battle. Maybe we have to show her the real instinct of Saiyan Vegeta." Vegeta watches and says, "Are you wanting to suggest some sort of fusion or something along those lines, Kakarot?" Vegeta starts to smile. Goku watches and speaks. "I think the last time we tried to perform the fusion, we didn't have good memories, since while we showed the power of the fusion and those abilities Zaki and Bonzeroth made us walk into a trap, and that's why we're here."
So maybe it's interesting that we show another kind of skill. What do you think? Let's go. I know you've trained with the Great Priest. You sure aren't showing off all your powers, Vegeta? At that moment, Vegeta starts to watch and smile at Goku and says,
Haha, but that's just payback for what you put me through a long time ago, Kakarot. Do you remember when you showed Majin Buu Super Saiyan 3, but you didn't show this transformation to me? You just didn't want to defeat me because you had that power. So this time, even if my existence ends up disappearing, I won't first show all my skills. Come on, Kakarot, I want to see what you really learned from the Great Priest.
At that moment, Goku starts to smile and says, I understand. I'm not going to take your reason for this, Vegeta, but maybe with this power I'm going to show you now, it won't even be necessary for you to interfere in the battle. Vegeta starts laughing. At that moment, the staff of the angel Shiva is thrown directly towards Goku and Vegeta. Both Goku and Vegeta manage to escape. Vegeta says,
Kakarot, I think you'd better show this transformation exactly because this angel is not playing games with us.
At that moment, Goku with all his power raises his strength even more and says, well, now I will show the Infinite Saiyan. Vegeta and the angel Shiva are surprised.
What? Infinite Saiyan?
Goku had only used the Infinite Saiyan transformation once, which was when he fought Zyko the Supreme Saiyan God. Goku for a few moments, using the form of the Infinite Saiyan, managed to pressure Zyko in the battle, causing Zyko not to be able to use his true powers. Goku knew that his energy would get higher and higher. Last time, Goku was saved by Vados and showed great power and great skills, causing Goku to be saved, and after that, Goku met his third son, Gohan. Only once was this transformation shown. Soon after, Goku trained with the Great Priest, and in this training, Goku learned several different skills, powers that would be more than important and necessary to be able to evolve his skills more and more. Goku's strength was increasingly being developed after Goku trained directly with the Great Priest. Goku met the priestess Zaki, and the war was close ever since. We still don't know what level Goku managed to reach and how he managed to control his Saiyan power. Vegeta in the unknown galaxy sits on a rock. The angel Shiva watches and says, don't you think that's audacious? You're asking to be the first Saiyan eliminated, sitting while I'm about to end it all here. Well, stay there. Now you will be destroyed. At that moment, Vegeta faces Shiva and says,
this fight will now be Kakarot's. He will show what he learned from the Great Priest. If you want to attack me, you can attack. I won't do anything. That's our Saiyan way of solving things.
Shiva looks at Vegeta and says, so this is what you want. Now will be your end. The moment Shiva steps forward to attack Vegeta, Shiva creates a huge burst of energy. At that moment, Goku steps in front of Shiva's attack, and Goku says, Shiva, don't get me wrong, but I won't let you attack Vegeta. Now you will know the true power of Universe 7 Goku. At that moment, Goku increases his strength more and more, and activates the Infinite Saiyan transformation once more. His silver hair and the pupil of his whitish eyes, the strength of the Ultra Instinct aimed at his body. Vegeta watches and speaks.
So does that mean that it was the power you achieved? How are you with Ultra Instinct? Can I consider what you consider as a second level of Ultra Instinct, right?
Goku, after performing this transformation, advances directly in front of Shiva. Shiva tries to attack Goku, but he can't because the mastery of Ultra Instinct starts to be elevated more and more. At that instant, Shiva says, this is impossible. It seems that the skill, the powers he's showing are pretty much involved in the same way as the angels themselves. I can't figure it out. How can this happen? It doesn't make any sense. What kind of skills are these? At that moment, in a few moments, Goku's skill starts to increase more and more. Goku dodges all of Shiva's blows and starts landing a string of punches on the bloody angel's body. All the wounds that Goku had from all the battles started to heal. Goku was no longer the same. At that moment, Goku lands a big punch on Shiva's belly, causing the bloody angel's belly to be pierced. Goku again has a small flashback in his head of his training with Daishinkan in the Celestial Palace. Goku says, "This transformation I achieved is fantastic, Great Priest. Combining Saiyan power with Ultra Instinct makes my energy become an angelic energy." Daishinkan looks at Goku and speaks, "Well done, Son Goku. Really, with this transformation, for a certain time, you reach formidable powers, being able to even be equal to or exceed the strength of several gods. But remember when you fought Jiren in the Tournament of Power, at that time when you were about to launch the final blow on Jiren and he himself had already assumed defeat, your body could not withstand the power of Ultra Instinct and you were to the ground. You fought with Ultra Instinct against Jiren for only 3 minutes. With this transformation, you would have a short period of time to finish the battle. Otherwise, you will suffer the same side effects as before, and your body will be in pieces in the fight, giving extreme advantage to the enemy to win. Think about it a lot, because you will have problems if the enemy is still standing after you use this form." Goku responds, "I understand, Great Priest, so I can only use this power as a last resort. Although if I use this transformation, it is because I will already be in a very delicate situation. So if I can't defeat the enemy with this transformation, it is because I really won't have any other choices. Haha." Back to current times. Goku looks at Shiva, who was lying on the ground, and creates a large superior dragon fist and lunges at Shiva and says, "This is your end." Shiva receives Goku's greater dragon fist in full. Shiva starts laughing and speaks, "We'll see you again, Son Goku." Shiva's body starts to fall apart. Vegeta watches and speaks,
You mean all of that power, and that wasn't the true body of the Angel of Universe 18? Was that just a clone of her? We will need to be more careful.
Goku in Infinite Saiyan form. In the galaxy that was unknown and full of darkness, a light begins to emerge. Vegeta watches and speaks,
I thought that with this we would be able to learn all our power and be able to get out of here. But it feels like we're still here. How do we get out of here?
Goku watches and speaks, "Haha, we need to think of something, Vegeta. It reminds me of when we got stuck in Majin Buu's belly. Well, maybe we just have to locate another presence on another planet to get to Earth." At that moment, when Goku and Vegeta were preparing to perform the teleportation technique, a voice comes up and says, "Please don't leave here. Help me." Goku and Vegeta hear the voice and say,
What is it? Who's there?
The unknown voice says, "Please release me from here, Son Goku." Goku and Vegeta were about to leave the unknown galaxy after defeating the bloody angel copy of Shiva of Universe 18. At that moment, Goku and Vegeta were very close to returning to Earth. However, a voice appears on the planet of the unknown galaxy. The unknown voice says, "Please help me, Goku. Please, I need to go with you. I will be of great help in the war." Whose voice is this? Who is really asking Goku and Vegeta for help? Is this another threat? Another trap from the gods of the past? At that moment, we can see that Goku had a question in his head. At that moment, Goku speaks. "Who are you? Where is your voice coming from? Vegeta, are you hearing that voice too?" Vegeta responds,
Looks like this might be one of those traps, Kakarot. We can no longer let our guard down in this war.
The unknown voice says, "I will be of great help to you. I have all the answers you need. Please release me from here." At that moment, Goku observes and speaks. "I feel like that voice doesn't want to bring out our bad side, Vegeta. I feel like it really might need help. Think with me. The bloody angel really believed she was going to beat us. Maybe she didn't expect us to make it out of this. Remember that Bonzeroth said while we were on Earth that they didn't want to kill me, but to capture me. And what if they try to do the same thing with the being that is asking for our help? Maybe he will be a big help for us to get out of this galaxy." At that moment, Goku observes and says, "Where does your voice come from?" The unknown voice speaks. "I'm going to raise a little more of my energy so you know where I am.
Please teleport here and save me from this prison.
Vegeta watches and speaks.
Kakarot, stop being an imbecile. This is clearly a trap. Remember everything that happened since this war started. First those two warriors, Zaki and Bonzeroth, started to fight together. Then you let your guard down to Bonzeroth that if I hadn't appeared, you would be in a critical situation. Then we tried to carry out the fusion, and they already had a sealing technique in case we wanted to combine those powers. Stop making mistakes. You never listen to me. I don't even know why I try to work things out here with you. I should let you do these things and just beg for help.
At that instant, Goku says, Trust me, Vegeta, I know that voice is speaking the truth. The unknown voice says,
Thank you so much, Son Goku.
The unknown being begins to raise its power more and more. At that moment, we can see that Goku and Vegeta teleport to the location where the energy of the unknown voice came from. At that moment, Goku and Vegeta are surprised to see a being with horns, long hair, and greenish skin. Goku asks, Who are you anyway? The unknown being says,
Thank you so much for coming here to help me.
The unknown being was all chained up in the rubble of the unknown galaxy. The unknown being says,
I am the Supreme Dragon God of War.
The Supreme Dragon God was trapped in the unknown galaxy where Goku and Vegeta had been sent. What's really going on here? Goku watches and says, But how did you get here? Wait, I'll release you. At that instant, Vegeta speaks.
Kakarot, don't do that. We don't know who this guy really is. You don't pay attention to things, do you? We don't know what race this guy is, nor what his true objective is. You have the idea that he was watching all this time the trap that Shiva put us and didn't say anything. After Shiva disappears, he appears. This is strange. You need to listen to me. You are very hard-headed. Remember when you fought Frieza? You thought he would redeem himself, and after letting your guard down, you almost died for it. Don't make that mistake again.
Goku starts laughing and says, Wait, Vegeta, it cost nothing for us to save him. If he was a bad guy and really wanted to attack us, it would be much easier for him to attack us from behind, wouldn't it? Why would he ask for our help and then turn against us? That doesn't make sense, Vegeta. Haha. But even so, if he decides to attack us this time, you are the only one who will show his real strength, right? After all, you said you have more powers than my Infinite Saiyan. Vegeta just watches angrily. At that moment, Goku breaks the chains with his magic of the Infinite Saiyan that were controlling and imprisoning the Supreme Dragon God. The moment the Supreme Dragon God is released, a great light begins to appear directly in the unknown galaxy. A great energy emanated causes Goku and Vegeta to be thrown away. Vegeta says,
I told you, Kakarot, this looked very much like a trap. This guy's energy is formidable. It looks like we're in trouble again.
At that moment, Goku and Vegeta are impressed by the power of the Supreme Dragon God. The Supreme Dragon God appears in front of the two and says,
I'm finally free. I can't believe it. My power has been yearning for revenge all this time. I can't believe it. All of you will pay me. After millennia, after so long, so many things happened, and finally I'm back. This time I can do what's right. Everyone will see that I am not a traitor. This is fantastic.
Goku and Vegeta give each other a serious look and get into a fighting stance. The Dragon God looks at Goku and Vegeta and starts laughing.
Stay calm. I think I was too happy because I was free. Thank you so much for saving me. I just wanted to demonstrate now a little of my power. Thank you very much.
Vegeta seriously looks and says,
You mean that was just a little bit of this guy's power?
Goku starts to smile and says, I said he wasn't a bad being, Vegeta. Moments after, the Supreme Dragon God of War says,
It seems that you are in a battle, and it is against those universes that were erased by Zeno-sama in the past. I think Daishinkan would like to know that I'm back." At that instant, the Supreme Dragon God reveals his name. "My name is Zafir. I am the Supreme War Dragon God who fought in the Heavenly War millennia ago. But I was imprisoned by the angel Zaki in the past, and since then I stayed here until I was released by you today." Isn't that funny? It seems that you were sent here by fate. How the universes had been erased by Zeno-sama. This location of mine was unknown, and after millennia, you released me. Now I know who I can serve. Vegeta watches and speaks. "Who can you serve? But what happened in the past?" At that moment, Zafir speaks. "You need to understand that there are several extremely powerful beings, maybe even more powerful than the angels. One of these races would be the race of dragons. The race where extremely powerful beings existed who fought in the past celestial war against the Great Priest. Zakai knows this and will probably want to bring them all back." At that moment, everyone didn't quite understand what was going on. Goku says, "But if dragons are fighting on Zakai's side, why didn't you fight alongside them?" At that instant, the Dragon God of War says, "I have always been considered the Dragon God of War, the dragon Zafir, but I never agreed with the ideals of many dragons. My ideals were very similar to those of the Great Priest, and that's why I was exiled from my race. I was the only dragon that was beside the High Priest in the past." At that moment, Goku says, "So you are the most powerful dragon?" At that moment, Zafir starts to laugh and says, "No, of course not. The most powerful dragon is the one that surpasses even the power of angels. It's my brother Zalama, the creator of the Super Dragon Balls." Goku and Vegeta are impressed. Goku says, "What? Is your brother the creator of Universe 6's spheres, which can summon the giant golden dragon?" Zafir says, "Haha, so you know Super Shenron." That's right. My brother is the fearless dragon Zalama. Now I will tell the truth of it all to you." Center of the unknown galaxy of universes. Goku, after having shown his transformation of the Infinite Saiyan combined with the Ultra Instinct, impressed Vegeta and at the same time managed to eliminate the clone of the angel Shiva. But at that moment, a voice had appeared and asked for Goku's help. When we least expected it, the Dragon God of War, Zafir, showed his identity, the one who fought the beings that were the most powerful in the past celestial war and for some reason was helping the Great Priest. So far we know that dragons were enemies of angels and Zeno-sama, but for some reason the dragon Zafir showed to be beside Daishinkan and to like the Great Priest. What secret is behind all of this? The Dragon God brother of Zalama, the creator of the Super Dragon Balls. The one who with only his army managed to conquer several planets and different races. Zafir, the Dragon God of War, revealed his identity and revealed himself to be the brother of the creator of the Super Dragon Balls. What does Zafir want with Goku and Vegeta? Why was he trapped in a place at the center of universes? At that instant, in the unknown galaxy, Zafir says, "I need to reveal to you everything that happened in the past. However, I realize that your key reminds me of a certain someone, Son Goku. A man who helped me fight my own race and many other beings in the celestial war of the past." At that instant, Goku starts to watch and says, "Do I look like someone you've met? Would someone be green like you? Not even though that doesn't make sense." Vegeta watches and speaks. "Don't be an idiot, Kakarot. Who are you talking about?"
Zafir responds,
"I need to clear my doubts before that. Maybe it's not the time for me to reveal who this being was.
But son Goku, allow me. Grant me a fight so I can show off my performance, and I can test your powers to see if you really are the Saiyan I'm thinking of.
Vegeta starts watching and says in his mind,
"What is this guy thinking? What is he really doing? We are in the middle of a war, practically without knowing where we are, and at any moment we can be caught by an enemy, and inexplicably a humanoid dragon appears in front of us chained and then starts talking about things from the past and a more powerful race than that of angels. This story is very strange. Kakarot is still very stupid and innocent. I need to prepare myself in case he lets his guard down as usual. I will show this dragon the true power of the Prince of Saiyans. It looks like he wants to test Kakarot's powers. This doesn't make any sense. What is he suspecting? Or what will be his true objective? I will look into all of that. In any other situation, I will eliminate it myself."
Universe 11. Jiren was fighting Ziel. Margarita managed to recover his energy and used her powers to heal Toppo and Belmont, who were there watching. Ziel and Jiren started to fight. Jiren had a more reddish aura over his body and his powers were increasing. His eyes and skin had darkened more. Jiren says,
"It doesn't matter to me who you are or if you can nullify the power of any other race. I will end you by showing you your true essence. I am Jiren the Grey from Universe 11, the real hero."
At that moment, Ziel starts to laugh and says, "This is fascinating. Not even the angels could fight me. Does that mean that a mortal like you is fighting on equal footing with the supreme god of destruction? I think now I'm going to have to start fighting seriously." Jiren observes and says,
"What? Is he going to start fighting seriously now? Yeah, I should imagine he wasn't using all his powers. Ha 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 ha. So now we're going to start."
Planet Earth. Several pieces of debris were being thrown. Gon had detected that Gohan's energy had increased, but Piccolo's energy was gone. Gon says, "Damn it, I need to help them." At that moment, a big punch advances towards Gon. Right now, it's Kai. Kai laughingly says,
"Ha ha ha. None of that. You will only leave here after you manage to beat me. That is, if you can beat me. You know, I'm actually liking this planet. It would be a shame to destroy it, and it actually goes against all my principles. I think I've got an idea. Once I'm done with all of you, I will become the new hero of the mortals of this universe and become their new savior. All mortals need to be more motivated to live if they have someone to believe in, and they will believe in me." At that instant, Gon speaks. "Damn it, this guy's a pain in the ass. This angelic power really is very high. I can't let that happen." Gon remembers training with Goku and Beerus in the room of the gods. Gon starts to smile and says, "Haha, I know, I'm gonna have to use that." At that instant, straight back to the unknown galaxy, Zafir looks at Goku and speaks. "Come on, Goku, grant me a battle so I can check and analyze his powers." At that moment, Goku starts laughing and says, "Haha, if that's what you want, I'll show my power to you. I'm sure you're very strong. The nickname of Dragon God of War certainly has great reasons for being given it." As Goku activates his infinite Ultra Instinct form again, Vegeta watches and speaks. "This power that Kakarot revealed is really amazing. Maybe he could be hiding something else. It took him so long to get this transformation under control. Kakarot really is amazing, but this time I learned a power that can surpass even the strongest one. Ha 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 ha. Soon, everyone will see the true power of the great Vegeta."
Goku vs. Zafir. Zafir prepares to attack Goku. Goku, with the power of infinite Ultra Instinct, tries to use his mastery to dodge Zafir and then attacks him. But to Goku's surprise, Zafir manages to dodge his blow. Goku says, "How is this possible? Not even the Angel of Universe 18 managed to escape. How did this guy manage to do this?" In a few moments, Zafir begins to teleport and move at high speed. Goku tries to dodge and tries to hit Zafir directly. Zafir speaks. "That won't defeat me, Goku-san. These scams of yours are very easy to analyze. I believe that the training you carried out was alongside Daishinkan. Even after so long, I still know these moves. A long time ago, I fought many times with Daishinkan before he got the rank of Great Priest. Many of the moves he used, I already knew them. Maybe if you use this technique with any other technique, it would work. But you're fighting with a warrior experienced in Goku-san battles. It feels like all this time I've been sealed away. I still have my powers intact. Glad to know that." In a few moments, Zafir appears in front of Goku and advances his arm with his nails skewered over his neck. Zafir says, "Looks like you're cornered, Goku." Vegeta watches with a serious expression on his face and says,
"This guy was just messing with us. Why would a guy with that power be trapped here in this galaxy? What's going on here?"
At that moment, Goku starts laughing and says, "Incredible, it's Zafir's power." Goku has a small flashback in his head of his Daishinkan training. Goku remembers that Daishinkan talked about infinite Saiyan levels. Daishinkan says,
"Pay close attention to Son Goku, especially in the Celestial War. Many of the beings I fought can appear wanting revenge. Many of them know several techniques that I have. One of them is Ultra Instinct." Goku is impressed and says, "What do you mean, Daishinkan-san? Ultra Instinct doesn't work against them?" Daishinkan responds, "It is not a question of not working, but that they are already prepared to fight Ultra Instinct because they have already developed other techniques to combat these abilities, just as the gods of destruction developed Ultra Ego so as to not be left behind. In this way, as I evolve my techniques, I advise you to evolve your power as well." At that moment, Goku starts smiling and says, "Incredible, Daishinkan-san. Now I know what to do. I'm going to combine the power of Ultra Instinct with my Saiyan power." Daishinkan watches and starts to smile. Back to current times. Goku's energy begins to rise more and more, combined with the power of the Super Saiyan alongside the infinite Ultra Instinct. Zafir lowers his because he believed that the battles had already ended and that Goku had no more strength. Zafir says, "Ha ha 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 ha. Incredible. You even had more hidden powers." When Goku approaches to attack Zafir, Zafir teleports behind Goku and says, "Enough. Only that. Now I could really understand the essence of his power. It's just like that Saiyan from the past." At that moment, Goku observes and speaks. "Who are you talking about?" Vegeta says,
"It seems that all this time he was just playing with Kakarot. Who is he talking about? Come on, speak the truth."
At that moment, Zafir responds, "Ha ha ha ha. Yamoshi, the legendary first Dragon Slayer Saiyan God." Zafir, the Dragon God, tells Goku about Yamoshi. Goku tries to understand what Zafir was trying to say. Zafir was referring to saying that Goku had the same fighting style as Yamoshi, the former Saiyan God. At that moment, Goku starts trying to understand what was going on and says, "Lord Dragon God Zafir, what are you talking about? Did you just meet a Saiyan in the past who was called Yamoshi, is that it? Did he have a similar fighting style to mine?" At that moment, Vegeta observes and says,
"You mean the legend about that Saiyan is true?"
Goku says, "Did you know him, Vegeta?" Vegeta watches and speaks.
"Shut up, Kakarot. Anyone who was a Saiyan born on planet Vegeta knows the legend of Yamoshi. It was said that Yamoshi was a low-class Saiyan who in the past, after seeing several of his friends fighting, he was no longer able to fight, and when he saw friends of his who were about to die, he became enraged and activated the Saiyan God's power for the first time. He fought bravely and died saving his friends. But since that day, everyone discovered that there was a Saiyan God, who after releasing his powers could defeat any enemy. It is said that no Saiyan has ever managed to overcome his powers. This is how the legend of Yamoshi was enshrined. At that moment, Zafir, the dragon god, starts laughing in front of Vegeta. Vegeta says, "What are you finding funny? Is there nothing funny about that? That was the legend of Yamoshi." At that moment, the dragon god Zafir observes and speaks. "Do you really believe that's what Yamoshi was known for? Breaking up a friend's quarrel and dying to save them? Do you really believe this is Yamoshi's story?" It's even embarrassing to talk like that about the greatest warrior in all of history. This has nothing to do with Yamoshi's story. At that moment, Goku and Vegeta watch and notice that Zafir's face changes. Goku says, "I'm not understanding anything. Who was Yamoshi after all?" Vegeta watches and speaks. "It can't be. What does this guy really know? Come on, tell the whole truth about Yamoshi and explain why you're mentioning him and linking him to Kakarot." At that moment, Zafir says, "Yamoshi was the Supreme God Saiyan who was most regarded as Dragon Slayer God." Goku and Vegeta are amazed and say, "What?" At that moment, Goku and Vegeta were impressed with the words of the dragon god Zafir. At that moment, Zafir says, "I'm going to tell you the true story about Yamoshi, and all the information I'm going to pass on will make your future change from now on, Goku and Vegeta. Yamoshi is dangerous to some beings, even today." Goku and Vegeta watch. Zafir starts to speak. Flashback to millennia ago. At that time, the race of dragons was liberated, possessing extremely strong beings, and all obeyed the orders of their commander Zalama, the most powerful dragon god until then. Several dragons had extremely high skills, and as you may know, today's dragons can fulfill whatever they want and whatever kind of desire they want when. All Dragon Balls are gathered and wishes are granted to those who gather them. Already in the past, they did not need this. Their magical powers were so great that their race was extremely dangerous, and therefore it was considered the race that fulfilled the wish of anyone who wanted it. The big question is that dragons could imagine the reality they wanted and ended up creating another reality with their powers. That was Zalama's true objective, but his plan had not yet occurred due to the angels and Zeno-sama not authorizing these decisions, and the magic of angels, even inferior, was quite high and managed to reduce the powers of dragons. Zalama came to the conclusion that he would have to resolve the issue with the other celestial beings first so that he could defeat them and everything would be free for him to do as he pleased. Time went by. Many warriors were becoming more and more powerful. We could see that the essence of each one was becoming more and more, showing that he could be the possible winner of all the battles in the Celestial War. Zafir concludes, "As I said, I was considered and had the renown of Zafir, the dragon god of war. I eliminated several angels and several other beings that were entering the battlefield. My army was considered the most powerful army of all, and I was the second commander of the hour of the dragons of Zalama. My army was practically invincible, but whatever I did, I followed my brother Zalama's instructions." At that moment, Zalama was sitting on the throne of the Palace of Dragons. Zalama smiles and says to Zafir, "Ha ha 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 ha. I want you to be the commander of all this, my brother. Unleash all your power and wipe out all these angels and heavenly beings. Anyone who appears in front of you must be eliminated. I was too patient for all this time. Now I will no longer put up with the decisions of Zeno-sama and his gods alongside the other celestials. The supremacy of dragons have always been higher. Sometimes these issues of hierarchies when involving other races only serve to generate more conflicts. Tell me why we dragons have to obey other races. We can do whatever we want. Our goal will be to create another version of reality from now, and we will do it the best way. We just need to finish them off. Daishinkan goes against my ideal. I will handle Daishinkan myself. I will finish him off myself. He will never be able to beat me.
At that moment, several dragons appear beside Zafir. Zafir smiles and says,
"But brother, maybe it would be interesting if we tried a peace deal. In this way, we would avoid several deaths, mainly of our friends of our same race. We may have more power than them, but in quantity, they are much more. Perhaps there were unnecessary losses for both sides. A war always leaves several scars." At that moment, Zalima is furious and speaks. "You mean that's what you think? Is this how you want to work things out?" "You are very innocent, Zafir. In a war, there are always several sides, but who comes out as the right one is the last one to stand. Do you think they will accept that our kingdom lives peacefully, knowing all the power that dragons possess? We can make virtually any dream come true and still control all mortals. Even if we're not doing anything, do you think they'll accept it and not try to seal us in?" "Don't be silly. Sometimes I think you're not even worthy to be my brother. I try to help you, but when you see these behaviors of yours, I don't understand how you still get the reputation of the dragon god of war. I pity your thoughts like you, Zafir. You disgust me. This will be your last chance. Let's go and create a heavenly revolution. Show that you are a part of the dragon family." At that moment, Zafir starts to destroy several kingdoms, giving orders to his army, until the moment Zafir arrives in the kingdom of the Northern Galaxy, where a race of ancient primate warriors lived. Zafir orders his entire army to destroy the Northern Galaxy. Zafir stays in his palace, analyzing what would be the next step. Strange, Zafir, that 4 days had passed and none of the dragons had returned. What had happened? Since there was no news of any of the dragons that had attacked the Northern Galaxy Kingdom. At that moment, Zafir receives a message from a dragon with extremely serious injuries from the battle in the Northern Galaxy. Zafir questions himself. Who did this to you? Let's talk about what happened to you. Where are the other dragons in my army? At that moment, the surviving dragon looks at Zafir and speaks. They're all dead. They were all eliminated by that guy. Zafir asks, what are you talking about? How many beings were on the side of their enemy to get rid of our army? The weakened surviving dragon says, it was only one man who managed to do that. Zafir is impressed and says, impossible. Who is this who you are talking about? Who is this guy? At that instant, the surviving dragon in his last moments of life says, Yamoshi, best known as the Dragon Slayer. Zafir gets angry and says, how dare a being kill my army? These wars must end, but I can't let this go unnoticed. If I don't do anything, it will ruin the dragon's reputation, and we will give openings for more enemy attacks. Yamoshi, right? I will make you regret ever being born. I'll go after this guy. Get ready, Yamoshi. To be continued. Add Tomochi, the Dragon Slayer, Yamoshi, the Dragon Slayer, and Zafir. The beginning of everything is being shown. What do you believe and what do you imagine about all of this, partner? Regardless of what it is, it's more than important that you share your thoughts in the comments below so we can get into a crazy debate. Whack that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. And I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.